Good evening. Thank you all so much for joining us for our prospective high school parent webinar. I'm going to start by introducing everyone on the panel, but first I'm going to ask Jessica Serna Castaneda, our translator, to let folks know how to access translation.
Hola, buenas tardes. Gracias a todos por estar aquí. En un momento van a poder ver en la opción de más un globo donde van a poder ir a interpretación para el inglés al español.
Gracias, Jessica. Okay, so just on the screen tonight, you see our high school principals, assistant superintendent, our director of student services, and our chief of communications, Sam Rollins. I'm going to have each of them introduce themselves to you. My name is Chris Monroe, and it's my privilege to serve as superintendent for Santa Cruz City Schools. Sam, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Sam Rollins, Chief of Communication for Santa Cruz City Schools. I also have 2 kids in the district. I actually went through Santa Cruz City Schools myself as a student way back in the day. I'm going to be carrying you through most of the presentation today, so get used to hearing me talk.
Dorothy.
Evening. My name is Dorothy Coito, and I'm Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services.
Julia.
Hello, I'm Julia Hodges. I'm the principal at SoCal High.
Casey Denning.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Casey Denning, and I'm the principal at Santa Cruz High.
And Mariah.
Good evening. I'm Ann Mariah Hernandez, and I'm the principal at Harbor High School.
C. O'Brien.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Casey O'Brien, the Director of Student Services. I also have an 8th grader going off to high school from Bransford Middle this year.
We're really pleased that you've all joined us this evening, and Sam is going to walk us through a presentation, and we'll have an opportunity to answer questions at the end. But if you have questions and you want to put them in the Q&A, we can also answer them during the presentation. So thank you so much again for being here, and we'll pass it to Sam.
All right, thank you. Is everyone able to see that? Is it projected? Zoom always works, but I always feel like asking ahead of time. All right, thank you, Chris, for the introductions, and I want to thank everyone, all the participants for being on the call here today. We know that high school is a pretty big transition. As well as excitement, there can be some anxiety to it. So thanks for being here and hopefully helping us make it a lot more manageable to make that transition. Throughout the presentation, I'm going to be pausing at times for translation because Jessica is very, very good at what she does, but sometimes I rush through without giving her enough time to translate. And yeah, we really appreciate that you're here. High school is a very exciting time when students and families are really a lot more future focused, and students are starting to explore all the futures available to them, looking for opportunities, availing themselves of opportunities. And what they need at that point is guidance, support, and high expectations, which is what we try to offer. See, as of just now, I should have switched that over earlier. The other thing that I should mention is this is a Q&A webinar. So at the bottom of your Zoom screen, you should see that there's a chat function. Please feel free to ask your questions there at any time. Ask questions while I'm talking. We've got this wonderful panel of resources across the district. We'll be able to answer your questions as we go. And then when I'm done with this brief informational presentation, we'll answer some of those in person. And also we'll all continue to answer via chat. So we like to start every meeting, if possible, by bringing up our values and our goals. I'm not going to read through all of them right now. I'm going to post this presentation on our webinars page where you found this Zoom link so that you'll be able to peruse it at your leisure. But these values and these goals were put together by our board of trustees working with staff getting us all to one place where we can agree on what our mission is. And the summary of it is that everyone deserves an opportunity or the opportunity to excel and explore their potential. And we believe it's the responsibility of public school to give everyone their best shot, because every success makes our community stronger and makes our society stronger. So that's what we're here to do, is put everyone in that position to succeed and to be able to explore their potential. High school is a really sort of exciting nexus point for that, where students are finding their passions, they're exploring deeper into their passions, they're able to kind of try out all different pathways in front of them, figuring out what they're good at, what they want to be good at. And you really see that theme emerge as we go through tonight. It's really just encouraging everyone as much as possible to like avail yourself of the opportunities and try things out, because of the wealth of opportunities that are available. And it's a great time to try something new. So what we're here to talk about tonight is primarily our 3 comprehensive high schools: Harbor High in Midtown, SoCal High in SoCal Village, and Santa Cruz High in downtown Santa Cruz. We put the student numbers up here. These are the ones from last year, but as you can see, that it's pretty equal across the board. So what we're going to be talking about today is going to be true of your high school, whichever high school you go to. There is some choice in that. Most years we're able to accommodate transfers between high schools based on people's preference. I will say, please do enroll within the enrollment window that we give you to ensure that it's most likely that you will be able to honor those transfers. But the programs that we're going to be talking about are common between all 3 of these high schools. And so I did also want to mention that in addition to the comprehensive high schools, we do have other options for high school. You may be aware that we have what we call alternative programs at our small schools campus. That's the Branciforte campus at North Branciforte and Water Street. And so I did want everyone to know, we wanted to be able to go through them really briefly. Alternative Family Education is a homeschooling program that's supported by credentialed teachers, where teachers work with families to build a customized curriculum. And then AFE also actually has enrichment courses all week. So families can decide essentially how much they want to have a collaborative experience with other students and how much they want to have a homeschool experience. If you want to learn more about this or any of the other alternative programs, I've put the URL down at the bottom. Feel free to go to that and explore. We also have ARC Independent Studies. This is for students who are self-directed and good at self-managing. It's a completely independent program with check-ins, regular check-ins with credentialed teachers. We expect about 20 hours per week in this program, but it's a very, very flexible schedule where students really get to make their own way independently. And then finally, we have Costa Noa, which is what we call our career prep high school. It has fewer credit requirements for graduation and a shorter day, as well as a smaller ratio of students to adults on the campus. Switch that slide. And then as of this year, there's a real focus at Costa Noa to get students experience in the workplace. There's a lot of organized field trips where staff go with students to different like skilled workers all over town so that they can explore what the workplace looks like in different professions. So those options are available, but what we're mainly going to be talking about today are the programs at the 3 comprehensive high schools. And so what we're going to cover is college prep, academics, our general curriculum, the career technical education program, which is a growing and exciting program that we'll talk about in due time. We'll talk about what academic supports look like on campus and how to get in touch with them and engaged with them. We'll do a bit of an overview of enrichments and extracurricular activities. There's a lot in there, so it's going to be sort of a speed through. But then we're going to talk about leadership opportunities, award-winning programs, which sounds like we're bragging, but really we just like to talk about how important it is for students to be able to see their success outside the classroom and be recognized within the community, and what an important piece we believe that is in education. We'll talk about social, emotional, and mental health support on campus. Again, what does it look like and how to get engaged with it? We'll talk about connection and the diversity of perspectives that we have on our campuses, and give a bit of a school safety overview. And there's when I realized I should have clicked away slightly sooner. And we're very proud that we have such a rich program that brings students in even from other districts. It starts with academics, obviously. All of our courses, aside from some specific support courses, are college prep courses. What that means is they're what's called A to G compliant, or they're part of the A to G requirements, which is the set of requirements that are necessary for admission into colleges, specifically or primarily the UC and California State system, but largely everyone uses A to G. So we believe that a rigorous curriculum prepares students for future success. And it's important to note that while all of our courses are college prep, we don't make the assumption that everyone is going to choose college, but we very much want everyone to be able to go to college. We want students to graduate with as many options available to them. All of our teachers are credentialed and experts in their subject matter. There is the rare occasion where a teacher who's almost finished with their credential is given the opportunity to teach a class, but those are relatively rare cases when we think that a teacher has proven a great sense of classroom management. And in the event that a non-credentialed teacher is teaching, we do let everyone know, but that tends to be pretty rare. All students do have access to advanced placement or international baccalaureate classes. And these classes are not only sort of an opportunity for students to pursue curriculum with more rigor, but also help for college admission. And in many cases, even, and I wish I had known this when I was in high school, I don't know how I didn't, but I got to high school and everyone had taken, or I got to college, everyone had taken AP courses, which give them college credits and set you ahead of the pace once you get to college. And so that's a really valuable thing to have on campus. We do offer support for students to seek the California State Seal of Biliteracy. Our world language departments and staff can help facilitate students as they're earning their seal of biliteracy. We also offer our own seal of biliteracy, which is a little bit more, has more requirements. It's a little bit higher aiming even, and students can earn those in multiple languages. We want all of our parents to know about the ability to dual enroll at Cabrillo College. That is, high school students can take Cabrillo College courses, which means that the courses available to them are even broader. And this is again, not only a good way for students to pursue more rigorous coursework if they're interested, but also it helps give students a sense of what college is like, and helps them visualize themselves as college learners, even when they're in high school. And then we offer articulation with local institutions of higher education, Cabrillo College, CSUMB, San Jose State, and UCSC. And we do have representatives from those and many more colleges coming to our campuses not regularly, but coming to our campuses throughout the year to talk to students and answer questions about college. And again, we don't necessarily assume that everyone is going to seek college, but we are very proud that our programs so regularly place students in top universities in the nation and in the world. And we're proud that our graduates are prepared to go where they go. So this is the class of 2024 and where they went. This is obviously a snapshot in time, but it's pretty indicative of what we tend to see and where our graduates tend to go every year. Again, this is a long list, so you can see this in the slides that we send along, or that we post on the website. And we also like to celebrate our counseling departments, because they really do amazing work in getting graduates scholarships. Last year, the class of 2024 in Santa Cruz City Schools was awarded almost $2 million in scholarships. And we have a counseling department that helps students navigate the calendar of scholarships, the application process, helps them navigate what's available and what they can apply to, and helps them apply to it. Yeah, can't give enough credit to the counseling departments. Okay, and so we also really want incoming families to know all about our career technical education program. And this is a hands-on approach that teaches students professional skills. And we actually have professionals teaching the courses. Sorry, I lost my notes. It's great for students to be able to learn from professionals and have hands-on learning. A CTE teacher at Soquel said something that's always stuck with me, that it creates a connection between the head, the heart, and the hands. And that essentially just means that knowledge and understanding is vital, but being able to connect it to the real world and your understanding of the world around you is as vital as is being able to get your hands on it and learn that way. And so we're excited about the CTE program because not only does it give students an opportunity to explore potential career paths and learn real world job skills, but all of the CTE courses are also college prep. So essentially students are able to explore both pathways at once, getting themselves experience in the job market as well as college readiness at the same time. I've listed out the CTE courses. More are being added on a regular basis. It's a growing program, and we also have some of these programs are partnerships with Cabrillo College, where students can go explore the Cabrillo departments while they're in high school. And then the other cool thing about CTE that we want families to know is every CTE course, and it's one of the many acronyms that you'll get to know very well, gives students an opportunity to write a resume, create a portfolio of work, even practice interview skills so that they will be less intimidated and more ready for the job market when they get to that point. We also, just to encourage families to get involved in CTE courses or have your students explore them, CTE courses also have shown to boost graduation rates. They help with college acceptance and persistence. It helps build work ethic as well. And that's definitely a slide that I should have turned earlier. Hope Jessica will forgive me. Yeah, and so CTE students also have the opportunity to get involved in competitions all over the state, all over the world. It's another area in which they can seek excellence and recognition even outside the classroom. And it's an area where a lot of students come alive. We hear time and again how some students thrive in traditional coursework, and some students need to be able to kind of get their hands on things in order to bring up their engagement levels and thrive in regular coursework. So it's always exciting to see. Okay, so there's a lot of academic support available on campus, and a lot of it is organized through someone called an RTI coordinator. RTI stands for Response to Intervention, another acronym for you, but essentially the RTI coordinator is a support teacher who helps to customize supports around students. And I should say that when we're talking about academic support, the goal is always to build independence for a learner. We're trying to build the skills that someone needs to be able to manage and motivate themselves as well. So what do those supports look like that the academic coordinator, the RTI coordinator, will organize around a student? We do have access to academic tutoring throughout the class day and after school. We also have a peer tutoring program, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a moment. Obviously, we have robust supports for English learners and special education students. And then all students do have access to support courses and interventions throughout their class day. Should have switched that one earlier. And the RTI coordinator works with the the teachers and follows the academic progress of students to sort of decide where and when they need support and which supports would help them best in any particular area where they need extra support. And now, if you are already in one of our middle schools at Santa Cruz City Schools, it's possible that you already know about the peer tutoring program, but we did want to encourage everyone. Well, we just wanted our families to be aware of it because it's been such a win-win. We've had it going for a few years now, and what we have found is that if you are being tutored, it's a great parallel to your work with staff. That students often have an easier time engaging with difficult subject matter when they get to do it with someone who's only mastered it relatively recently. That can be a little bit of an easier support to accept. And then for students who are tutoring, we approach students who are particularly strong or doing particularly well in a subject area and offer this to them. And then if they're interested in becoming a peer tutor, we train them and then we actually pay them. It's a job at school. And so it's an opportunity for someone who wants to dig a little bit deeper into their curriculum area or is particularly enthusiastic about a curriculum area to learn it even more, as you must when you teach it to anyone. But then also be able to develop, leadership skills, communication skills, interpersonal skills on top of their classwork, all while getting paid for it. So we do encourage you to bring that up with your students if they're interested in becoming a peer tutor. We did want to touch on campus safety. Obviously, it's essential for learning that students feel emotionally, mentally, and physically safe on campus. And so in our work, we follow the Secret Service data that really paints the picture that connectedness and relationships on campus are the greatest factor in student safety. So we train staff in fostering connectedness and relationships between students and between students and school. We have annual surveys where we assess the connectedness of students. Obviously, all students are supported with mental and emotional health resources, and I'll talk a little bit more in a moment about how those resources keep an eye on students and provide as many check-ins as we can to look for markers of distress. All our staff regularly have crisis training with local law enforcement and first responders and build response strategy with them. All of our schools either have or are installing, I think at this point largely have, key card locking systems in which the majority of doors are automatically locked and only authorized people can get through them. And they give teachers and classroom staff the ability to lock down rooms if need be. We also have an anonymous tip system that is up and running at all of our schools, and parents should know this too. If you go to your school's website under the Families tab, down at the bottom, you should have the opportunity or the ability to report a concern. You can enter anything anonymously in there, from there's a broken latch on the door of a bathroom stall to there's a fire on campus. And we actually partner with an organization that will see if one of those is urgent and escalate it to school staff so that we can act quickly on anything that's going on. And yeah, that's another good point. I encourage you to explore your school's website. And I want to make sure everyone knows that if you go to the website of the high school that you're looking at, anytime you scroll all the way to the bottom on any page, you can send a message to the school staff in a form in the footer of the website. That's for things that are less urgent. But I've been impressed by our high schools in getting back to people very promptly. Okay, so as part of school safety sort of moves very tidily into counseling and mental health. You can see that we've got two colors on this slide because the counseling department is responsible both for college counseling, career counseling, applications and scholarships, but then also the mental health support side of things. So all of our schools have a counseling department that offers comprehensive college counseling, helping students set their plans, for post-graduation and build out a roadmap on how they're going to achieve them. The counseling offices support with college applications and scholarships and all that world of things. But we also have counseling offices that employ licensed therapists. We added social and emotional counselors to our high schools during the pandemic. And even though COVID funding stopped paying for them, we have retained those positions because we found that they're so effective in their support on campus. And so social and mental and emotional health counseling is available. We work hard to make sure that students are aware that that door is always open to them. We hold events on campus where we remind this and focus on mental health issues. We hold mental health fairs at our high schools where we even bring in resources from outside the school and have those conversations and make sure that they're front and center. We also have a social emotional health survey that we do every year in partnership with the University of California at Santa Barbara, where we can get a sense of the mental health at our high school, but also look for any students who are struggling or in any sort of distress. And then our counseling offices also collaborate with staff to understand the markers of distress, to essentially have as many eyes on campus as possible to notice anyone who is having difficulty and connect them with mental health support. Also, peers can refer each other if need be. And we hasten to say that it's worth reaching out to your social emotional counselor, whether someone is in significant distress or just having a difficult time with their friend group. The door is always open. And here again, I feel the need to apologize to Jessica because I kept the English speaking slide up for a long time. Okay, so we're incredibly happy to have the wide range of extracurriculars that we have available. We want, again, anytime we bring this up, we have to express our gratitude to the community for the parcel taxes T and U. Because believe it or not, schools are not given base funding to cover things like athletics or even music programs and that sort of thing. So we're incredibly grateful that the Santa Cruz community has always been supportive of the idea that these must be part of a high school experience. And we're also very grateful for California's Proposition 28, which passed recently and has allowed us to expand our arts and theater programs. And this is a huge list of things, but again, I wanted to make the same pitch as before. There's a huge amount of social emotional learning that takes place when you are part of a team or a band of musicians or even a club on campus. And it's a great opportunity for students to get engaged with each other, to sort of seek out like-minded people, decide what spaces they're going to, they want to be in. And we want families and students to know that if there is a club on campus or an interest on campus that isn't currently being represented, you can always create one and create the space that you want to have on campus. I should be moving through these quicker. Yeah, and I think that I covered some of my points before showing this, but these are photos from last year. We can't help but brag about the state title that SoCal won, so those pictures tend to pop up. So we also want families and incoming students to be aware of the leadership opportunities that are available on our campuses. We believe that it's important that students have the ability to take agency and to see the impact of their agency and their leadership around them. So all of our high schools have an associated student body that gives student a voice at school, and students can seek those offices. We now have student trustees who sit on our board of trustees and help to represent student voice at our board meetings and at the highest level of decision making in the district. We have multiple student advisory councils. There's also principal advisory councils where students can be a voice in the district level or at the site level. We've got a great thing on campus called Link Crew, where students are able to mentor incoming students and be involved in school events. Like I said, peer tutoring is a wonderful ability, or creates a wonderful ability to explore leadership opportunities. There's a lot of leadership that is done at clubs and athletics. And then we also have service opportunities and community service opportunities in the wider community that students can get involved in. And I threatened to talk a lot, but I'm really realizing that we want to get to Q&A. And so we like to touch on this as well. Obviously, diversity is a word that can mean so many different things, whether it's ethnic or socioeconomic. But we really are proud of the diversity of perspectives that exists on our campuses. And we really believe that that is incredibly valuable to a developing mind, to be able to interact with perspectives that are wildly different from their own, and to have that wide variety of them in the classroom, and that helps drive broader development for all students. It helps increase students' connection to each other, to their community, and to the society around them. And we work hard to make sure that our campuses feel like welcoming things to everyone, to the widest variety of people possible. And then, like I said, we are very happy for the recognitions that our schools and programs get, but we also think that it's really a vital piece of development for students, to be able to see that their hard work affects more than just a grade, that they can see their art featured in local galleries alongside professional artists. Our music programs at every school every year get recognitions for excellence, as do our mock trial organizations. All of our schools have been recognized at the county and the state level. Like I said, the CTE classes routinely get recognized in local, state, and international competitions. And yeah, just last year, there was a state title, a NorCal title, and division wins for student athletes. I get the fun job of being able to sort of talk to student athletes and build out the video features that we send out to our family community. And it's really wonderful hearing such young people sort of gain an understanding of exactly how their hard work pays off. And so that's a reason that we like to focus on this, on sort of the recognition that students receive. Okay, we're almost done. But we also want all of our incoming families to know that there are a really wide number of ways for you to get involved and take leadership in the district as well. Every school has a site council where they discuss current issues at the school, and families have the opportunity to inform school leadership of what their priorities are. We also have site bond committees where families are able to give input in the ongoing bond work and modernization on their campuses. Obviously, every campus has parent-teacher organization, booster organizations that help raise resources, but also organize events and get involved on campus. We have English learner advisory councils at all of our school sites, as well as district level advisory councils for English learners, where families can give input on the supports and systems that we have for teaching students English. And then we have a pretty wide array of district committees, like everything from Green Schools Committee to the Tech Task Force, where families can weigh in and provide input on what we're doing as a district, and help guide our strategy and work as we go forward. So that's a big information download of lots of things that are going on school campuses and what to look for and what to expect. But what are the next steps? Obviously, if you want to know more, you should feel free to reach out to your schools, to the schools in our district. You can schedule tours of the schools. We do this on pretty regularly all throughout the year, where we give people the opportunity to walk onto campus, under supervision and get a sense of things and get a sense of the school climate and culture. And then we also have open houses for all of our high schools. This year, they're all in January. I feel like sometimes they're more spread out than that, but I've put the dates up here as well so that you can quickly jot those down. Or like I said, we will be posting this slide deck on our website, and so you'll be able to take them down from there. And again, if you're ever unsure of who to reach out to at any of our school sites, you can always scroll all the way down, and the form at the very footer of any page on the website, you can ask your question. You can also do that on the district website, and that pretty much goes straight to me. So if you ever have a question, you're not sure exactly who to ask or where to go, you can always go that route. And other than that, my email is here. I tend to be a pretty good catch-all in terms of if you have a question you're not sure who to point it towards, you can always point it to me, and we'll figure out together who the best person is to answer it. So without further ado, we can get more deeply into the Q&A. And I guess the only other thing that I'll say is, again, sccs.net/webinars. I will be posting the entire slide deck right here. But also, if you're curious to sort of poke around even more, I do encourage you to go to our video tab, sccs.net/videos, and then you can click on high school, you can click on athletics, you click, there's lots of subjects where you can hear from students about their experience. If you happen to have a student who is nervous or wants to learn more, you can send them that way.
We had several questions about athletic eligibility. Do any of the principals want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, at Santa Cruz High, we have our Excel schedule. So most students take about 3 to 4 courses, and for athlete requirements, they need to be enrolled in at least 3 courses. In regards to your question around electives versus academics, I'm not quite sure, but we could circle back and follow up with you on that one.
At Harbor High, we have a little bit of a different schedule than the Excel schedule. So we're seven classes, and it is required for athletics for 4 classes. But again, I'm not sure exactly about the academic versus electives, and that would be a great question for a school counselor or working in the counseling department.
Yeah, and SoCal High is similar to Harbor High. We have 7 periods, and you need to be in at least 4.
And that's tied to our league rules. There's a question about the best place to find important dates about interdistrict transfers and open enrollment and other things. On the student services enrollment page of the website, Sam?
Yeah, so if at any time you go to sccs.net/enroll, you get a page where you should see sort of buttons you can click on for whether you want to transfer into the district, within the district, or out of the district. And we should have, this year's interdistrict transfer request is up, and we will be posting next year's closer to the enrollment window that we open up to deal with all transfer requests. So this last year, January 13th through February 8th was the window that we put up for priority filing, where essentially within our high schools, correct me if I'm wrong, Casey, but I think generally we are able, most years we're able to honor all the requests that we get within that period of time. And so I don't know if we have decided upon that window for next year, but it's going to be in that, it tends to be in that range, mid-January through the beginning of February.
We're actually going to move it up a little bit this year, Sam.
Okay.
So look for it in the next couple weeks. It'll be posted on the website. And we can't always accommodate depending on the program that your child may need, but we do our best to work to accommodate requests. Seeing some of the other questions that we addressed were about electives, a broad range of electives that are offered on the campuses, and CTE courses. Julia, do you mind sharing a little bit about the different pathways, the CTE pathways offered across the 3 schools?
Sure. That's a big question. That we have a lot of different pathways. And I will drop a link into our chat that takes you to our district website that lists all the pathways for each of the high schools. Each of our high schools do have some similar pathways though. We do have like a woodworking, kind of more construction type pathway at each high school. Each high school also has some digital media arts pathways. It looks a little different at each high school. Like some might be specific to digital photo or graphic design, and others kind of have that as one course. And then there's some dance CTE pathways at Harbor and at Santa Cruz High. And then we have some medical pathways at Harbor and at Soquel High. Soquel has biotech and Harbor has the health careers pathway. Kind of thinking off the top of my head, but I'll find the link. I actually have it open because I already dropped the link for someone else. And you guys can look, if you scroll down on our website, on the CTE portion of the website, it will say each name of each high school, and you can click on each high school and it tells you what the different pathways are there.
And students can take many CTE courses. If they can make it work in their schedule, they can go to another high school to take a CTE course that may not be offered at their high school. There's lots of questions about advanced math. All 3 of our high schools offer advanced math pathways. They're a little bit different at each of the high schools, but there are options for all students. Santa Cruz High also has a math academy program that allows students to, because of the Santa Cruz High has a different schedule than the other 2 schedules. Santa Cruz High schedule is more like a college schedule. Students take 3 or 4 classes in their semester. They complete a year's worth of content in a semester. At the other 2 high schools, students can take 6 or 7 classes, and they're year-long courses for the most part. There's a handful of semester-only classes, but mostly year-long. There's a question about dual enrollment students needing to be on campus a certain time. Yes, students need to take a minimum number of courses on their campus. And it's different at Santa Cruz and the other 2 based on the programs there. The minimum number of classes at Santa Cruz would be 2 if they're in a concurrent enrollment class when they're a junior or senior. And then at Santa Cruz or at Soquel and Harbor High, it would be a minimum of 3, is it 3 or 4? Now I'm confusing myself, Julia.
Actually, you have to be in 5 classes if you're a freshman through junior year, and then you can take a dual enrollment class and not have a 6 class. 6 classes is considered like a full-time student, and that's what the typical student has. So you don't take 1 at your high school, you take a college one. And then if you're a senior, you can drop down to 4 classes at your high school or at Harbor or Soquel. And then if you're doing a dual enrollment class.
on the CTE classes, it's asking if students can take CTE classes outside of Santa Cruz City Schools. Yes, we have agreements with our partner districts. We actually offer more CTE classes than most of our partner districts do, but there are also some classes offered by the County Office of Education that our students frequently take in fire science or culinary arts, and some IT pathways courses that are also accessible to our students through the County Office of Education. Did someone want to speak to the difference between International Baccalaureate and AP courses?
I can speak a little bit to the IB, the International Baccalaureate. That program is at Harbor High. And IB classes, we have several different pathways at Harbor. All students are a part of the IB program, and then we have additional elective courses that students can take. And IB classes, when you pass the course and you pass the exam, you get grade bumps as well as international college credit. So the credits can be applied at universities across our country, but also on an international level.
The advanced placement courses, our students also can earn college credit during their high school career by taking the AP exams after completing their course, and many of our students earn college credit through that, both AP and IB. There's a question about do you have to be an upper class person to be dual enrolled? Mostly dual enrollment is done in college courses, is done by juniors and seniors. It's not absolutely required, but based on state requirements, freshman and sophomore schedules are pretty full.
I'll take the culinary arts question. We have a question that says, how does each school compare in the culinary art elective? So the culinary art elective is through the County Office of Education. And so it's the same elective at all three high schools, because our kids actually go to Cabrillo to take that class, or they go to Mission Hill. There's a couple locations.
The question that if you're an independent studies student, can you take a class on a comprehensive campus? Independent studies students and homeschool students may take a concurrent enrollment course on a comprehensive campus when there's space available in those classes. It's a question about foreign exchange students. We do welcome some foreign exchange students onto our campuses through different programs. We don't sponsor foreign exchange out of our schools to other countries, but there are programs that are available, and we work with families when students have specific needs. It is tough to get all of your requirements for college unless you plan a fifth year if you're planning to study abroad during high school.
There's actually a good question here about the Q&A itself. Are we able to download the chat from a Zoom?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, so we'll do that. So typically when we get the Zoom sends us a video link to the recorded webinar, which we post. And when they do that, we'll also post the Q&A chat transcript with it.
If you have any additional questions, please go ahead and put them in the chat now. And also please know that we're all available to answer those questions as you're exploring your options. Seeing no additional questions, I think we'll go ahead and wrap up for tonight. Making that transition from 8th grade to 9th grade is exciting. And there's a lot of opportunities for students in the district to explore all kinds of options as they make plans for their future. And we're grateful that you took the time to be here tonight. And like I said before, there's so many places you can get more questions answered. We welcome you to come shadow at a school. We welcome you to come to open house. Come to events. If any of the districts, all the district schools have their events calendars up, lots of ways to get to know the campus. And please stay engaged and involved. This is the second year that I'm not a parent in the school district, but both of my sons went through our school's TK-12, and I'm so pleased with the opportunities that they were able to have. And many of the people on the screen have students in our schools. So thank you very much again for being here tonight. Thank you to all of our panelists and to Jessica for translating and to Sam for putting together such a lovely slide deck of information on our schools. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thanks for joining us.